Welcome to the ultimate guide to scaling your agency. My name is Peter Coppinger and I'm the CEO of Teamwork.com. And I've literally spent 20 years building agencies, running agencies, and helping thousands of agency owners around the world scale their businesses. We know that building an agency is hard. So whether you're starting out in your agency journey, you're in the middle of it, or you're ready for true scale, we built this guide as a blueprint for your success. At this stage, your agency is likely just getting off the ground. It may seem like things are finally starting to gel together and you're making some momentum. However, you might also start noticing that managing all of your client work is getting a little more complex. Your top priority still is delivering work on time and making sure that none of your hard-earned dollars are slipping through the cracks. But you understand you need to put some new processes and systems in place to help things run more smoothly and so that you can set yourself up for continued success. Here's what you need to do at the deliver stage. 1. Get a project management tool. 2. Have your team track their time. 3. Understand your team utilization rate. 4. Get a handle on scope creep. 5. Invoice properly. And 6. Find your niche. The first one, get a project management tool. Choosing the right project management tool for your agency can be a huge challenge. So it's important to find the platform that best suits your needs in the short term and long term. No one likes switching from one project management tool to another. So take your time, do your homework, and make sure you find a tool that will help you grow as your agency grows, and not one that gets in the way or doesn't have the features you anticipate needing down the road. Change can be hard, so expect some resistance and pushback from members of your team when it comes to selecting and implementing your project management tool. You need to show them how putting the right tool in place will actually help make things easier, will help you take on more new and interesting clients in a way that is both profitable and repeatable. As an agency owner or a founder in the deliver stage, you want to maintain as much control as possible. However, you'll need visibility into how projects are progressing, whether the work is being completed on time, and how your team's time is being spent. The right project management tool will allow you to see the big picture when it comes to how your agency operates and where there are gaps or inefficiencies. 2. Have your team track their time. Yes, you will definitely hear some groans from your team initially, but having your team track their time is an essential part of running a successful agency. Why? Because understanding how and where your team's time is being spent will help you make better resourcing decisions, which leads to better business outcomes and paves the path to success and growth. You want to ensure that each member of your team is productive and spends their time wisely across clients and projects so you can continue to deliver work that is on budget and on time. Tracking your team's time will help you understand how long work really takes so you can better manage timelines and pricing. And then you can use those insights to fuel future projects that may be similar in scope. But we're not talking about filling out a time tracking spreadsheet 2 weeks after the work has been completed. That is no good. It has to be easy. Making it easy for your team to track their time is the best way to ensure that they are logging time accurately and actually doing it. No one likes switching between a number of different tools and software to get the work done. So consider finding an all-in-one project management tool that has time tracking built in to avoid those headaches and save yourself some cash in the process. Remember, making it easy for your team to track their time will increase the odds that they actually do it and do it accurately. Number 3, you got to understand your team utilization rate. The most successful agencies typically have each of their team members delivering client work that achieves a utilization rate of about 70%. What that means is that out of a 40-hour work week, their billable hours are around 28, and the other remaining hours are taken up with breaks, internal meetings, admin, training, and the like. Now you can calculate this for your members of your team by dividing your total billable hours by the total hours available. And as you might have guessed, you can only improve your utilization rate if you can actually see it and have a clear and accurate view into how your team is spending their time, which is why time tracking, again, is so important. In the agency world, your people are your biggest resource, of course. Their services and ability to deliver incredible work is the foundation your agency is built on. Managing your resources, the time your team spends on work properly, means avoiding both overallocation of time and underutilization of time. You need to continuously flex the muscles of tracking all the time spent on work and improving your utilization rate across both individuals and projects. And you'll see that you'll end up leaving less money on the table and ultimately being a more profitable agency. 4, get a handle on scope creep. Make sure you have a clear handover process from sales to the account manager. Both the client and the account manager need to be crystal clear on the work that was agreed to, which means setting clear timelines and deliverables, as well as documenting what you need from the client, like access to tools and approvals and logos and so on, in order to complete the work. In your initial calls with the client, you should also start by acknowledging that there may be tasks that pop up that fall outside of the scope of the work you agreed to, and that those requests may be added on at an additional cost by request. Our advice: offer to compile a list of these type of items and review it with your client regularly, deciding as you go which extras you may want to add onto the project so you don't end up derailing what you agreed to initially. 5, invoice properly. Now this might sound really obvious, but you'd be surprised how many smaller agencies fail to invoice properly because they're so eager to get started on the work. But hold tight. Remember that your success hinges on your ability to charge and track every billable minute you spent on the work you do for a client, and don't be afraid to charge a decent rate either. Before you rush into the first project, think about how you will invoice the client. Evaluate the size of the project first. You may want to break larger projects into 2 or 3 payments so that you still have some returns to show even if you get ghosted partway through. The best way to avoid errors like double billing a client, which can leave a bad taste in their mouth, is by using one tool for your project management, time tracking, and billing. At the very least, make sure your project management platform integrates well with other time tracking or invoicing software your team is using. Or better yet, author one that is built for managing client work and does it all. 6, find your niche. Last but not least, while you're in the deliver stage of your agency's growth journey, you should start thinking about focusing on an area of specialization or a niche. Let's face it can be pretty hard to stand out in a sea of endless competition from other agencies who may already be bigger or have more notable clients. One tactic that works really well for a small agency is to choose a niche and then get amazing at what you offer to your clients. This also helps in terms of delivering the work itself. If clients are coming to you with smaller projects, though each one will have their own requirements and expectations, you can more easily build out processes that are repeatable and scalable and profitable. You've made it to the next stage of scaling your agency. Nicely done. By now you have 10 or more people working on your team. New clients and projects are rolling in, you're starting to build a name for yourself, and you're focused on growing your revenue and profits. At this stage, you also need to grow your team and bring in folks who can help you focus on the business itself and not just the day-to-day. Expanding your team, focusing on your long-term goals, and improving your operations and processes across the board will set you up to eventually move into the final stage of your growth journey. Here's what you need to do at the growth stage. 1, hire a project manager. 2, create a vision and plan for your agency. 3, establish an accountability chart. 4, strive for customer excellence. 5, improve your utilization rate. 6, centralize client communications. 7, templatize client processes. And 8, offer easy extras. Let's go through them. 1, hire a project manager. Now you may be tempted to push off hiring a team member whose hours aren't billable, but trust us, waiting too long can lead to chaos that only intensifies when you take on more clients, which will inevitably cut into productivity and profits. Hiring too early can also be a resource drain, so we recommend hiring a project manager when your agency has at least 10 people working within it. When you hit the 30-person mark, you'll probably need to hire another project manager. Project managers will have dedicated time to focus on budgets and schedules in a way that no one else in your team does, especially not you. They will take away many of the day-to-day logistical concerns that you may have previously been saddled with, and they will remove repetitive or data-intensive tasks from the plates of your high performers, creatives, and account managers whose time is better spent elsewhere. The goal of the project manager is to help you maximize your agency's efficiency and reduce project costs. This person or people will live and breathe within your project management tool, where they'll have a bird's eye view of all the projects in process. Now, with your project manager keeping everybody's tasks on track, you can focus on big picture work like your agency vision and growth plans. 2, create a vision and plan for your agency. Sure, you may know where your agency is headed in your mind, but is it well documented? Do all members of your team understand your vision and plan for your agency? It's important that you share your agency's key priorities for the quarter and for the year, as well as your growth goals with the entire company. You should also think beyond the year in front of you, looking 2 to 3 years down the road. The agency world is fast-paced, And while you want to be nimble and adapt, having a North Star vision is critical. You can build out a business plan using something like Instant Agency Tools, a free resource for agencies that want to create business-wide transparency around their long-term focus and tactical priorities. As a quick overview, when building out your vision for your agency, you'll document the following. Core values. What's our focus? What's our purpose and passion? What's the niche we're focusing on? What's our long-term key priorities? What marketing strategy will we employ? Who is our target market? And what makes us different? What proven process will we implement? And ultimately, what guarantee will we provide? 3. Establish an accountability chart or organizational chart. So you've hired a bunch of new members on your team and are ready to hit the ground running. That sounds great. But don't forget that as you grow, your employees will want to understand how they can grow too. At this stage, you should create clear career paths and training plans so they can work towards reaching the next level in their careers. Start by documenting what your agency looks like today in terms of structure, and then layer in responsibilities. As we mentioned before, you can leverage a free resource like Instant Agency Tools to develop a shared accountability chart that everybody has access to. Here's how we'd recommend getting started. Create your org chart as it stands today. Then create another chart for where you see your agency 1 year out. From there, map out potential career paths, set up skill assessments for self-evaluation and training plans, meet with each person of the team to understand their growth goals. Believe it or not, this will also help you determine where you're going to sit within the agency. As agency owners and founders, it's all too easy to wear many hats and want to be involved in everything. At some point, however, you need to pick a seat in the company, whether that's CEO or marketing or sales. Then focus on developing the rising stars and future leaders around you. You're going to need them. 4. Strive for customer excellence. In your early agency days, your focus was on getting the work done, billing your clients properly, and keeping the lights on. Simpler times, some might say. But now you're in the position to strive for customer excellence every step of the way. In this stage of your agency's growth, it's time to focus on the client experience, delivering amazing results, increasing loyalty, and improving net promoter scores, NPS. It's actually really simple to capture feedback from your customers once a project is complete. There are a number of affordable NPS tools out there today, like Quality or Delighted, that can help you create quick and easy to use surveys. Want to know how happy a client was with the project you delivered? Curious if a client would recommend your agency or services to a friend? You can learn it all by surveying your clients and keeping track of how that score evolves over time. Once you've settled on a survey tool, you can add this step at the end of every project by taking advantage of templates. 5. Improve your utilization rate. In the deliver stage, we talked about the importance of time tracking and understanding your utilization rates. At that time, you may have been the one keeping an eye on how your team was performing and what your resources looked like on any given week. Now you have a project manager on the team to track and optimize that instead. Improving your utilization rate is the key to unlocking profitability for your agency. Time is money, and this is one of the best ways you can directly impact your bottom line. If you notice that your team's utilization rates are low and you want to improve them, consider looking into the processes and systems that you have in place that could be contributing to the problem. Are your employees doing too much manual, repetitive work? That could be causing strain. Maybe they're wasting time switching between tools to get the job done. Oftentimes, low utilization rates happen because there is an improper balance between internal administrative tasks and billable work for the client. Ensuring your processes are as efficient as possible is a critical step in achieving better utilization rates. 6. Centralized client communications. Typically, when you grow your agency from 20 to 30 people, that's when you start to feel the strain on communications, both with clients and internally. Client communication in particular is a huge overhead. Think about all of the back and forth that happens during the week, chasing clients for files, approvals, invoices, and so on. It's important at this stage of growth to start bringing all of your client communications into one central project management platform so there's a central repository that doesn't disappear when staff turnover. People may come and go, but you just can't afford to lose important client communications in the shuffle. You can bring your clients into your project management tool to give greater visibility into the work you're doing for them while also sharing the burden of accountability so they are clear on when things like approvals are due. When agencies bring their clients directly into the project as collaborators, it helps build transparency and trust, and that can be a huge differentiator in such a competitive market. And did you know Teamwork offers free access for your clients into the projects? Plus, Teamwork integrates seamlessly with Gmail and Outlook, so emails, files, and attachments are automatically copied to your project inbox. 7. Templatize client processes. Your agency is now running like a well-oiled machine. but have you yet standardized and streamlined your processes? Remember, just because you're taking on loads of new work and seeing success, that doesn't mean you should lose focus of the entire client experience. You want all of your projects to run smoothly in a repeatable and scalable way. Don't reinvent the wheel. At this stage, you should start templatizing all of your client processes. We recommend starting small by creating a simple template for your next project. For a web development agency, for example, the process for creating a new landing page can be made into a template, since you know you will do this time and time again. When building out the templates, think bigger than just the work that needs to be done, like getting that landing page off the ground. Build in recurring client communications that are necessary throughout the duration of the project. For instance, we recommend building weekly update tasks into your templates so account managers will know that they need to report on the health of the project. While the entire team can be involved, the project managers should be the gatekeepers. Templates are not set it and forget it tools, and you should always be focused on improving their effectiveness. Teamwork templates can help all sorts of teams save time and improve their processes. Set up project templates and tasklet templates to get more done faster. 8. Offer easy extras. One of the best ways you can continue to grow your agency and become more profitable is to consider offering customers an array of extra services that you can bundle into projects you deliver for them. Make sure these extras are efficient to deliver and will enhance your profit margins. For example, in the web development agency model, let's say your client wants you to build them a website. You could offer to conduct an SEO audit every 3 months for a set price. This sweetens the deal and also adds value to the services you're already providing. You can easily increase your margins by determining which extras are low effort and high impact, so you're not adding unnecessary strain to your team's workload. You're in the big leagues now. Congratulations on making it to this stage of your agency's growth journey. We know it took a lot of blood, sweat and tears, and hopefully some fun to get here. At this stage, your agency has a lot figured out. You've put in some time to get efficient and organized. You've centralized your client and internal communications. You've leveraged templates to make your entire team's lives easier, and you're ready to tackle what's next. It's time to start having serious but exciting conversations about where you want to take the business and how big of an agency you'd like to become. Here's what you need to do at the scale stage. Number 1. Hire a head of operations. Number 2, implement EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System. Number 3, start doing retainer work. Number 4, set strict budgets for work. Number 5, maximize your profitable work. Number 6, establish a culture of training. And number 7, retain your clients and staff. 1, hire a head of operations. Now that you've grown your team to over 50 people and have at least a few project managers and staff, it's time to hire a head of operations to help steer the ship and make sure your agency is operating at peak efficiency. The head of operations manages the project managers on your team, but they're also responsible for getting the most out of the entire agency. They will oversee resource planning at a high level, will be tasked with developing, implementing, and reviewing key operational procedures, and ultimately their job is to make your agency more profitable. It's important to note that the head of operation doesn't work within a specific team, but instead is responsible for moving the entire organization forward. This person should look for big step change improvements that help the agency get more organized and ultimately more profitable. 2, implement EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System. If you aren't familiar with the Entrepreneurial Operating System, or EOS, and you run an agency, we highly recommend reading Traction by Gino Wickman. EOS is essentially a simple system that helps leaders run their business better, get more control, and get more traction. This system can be highly effective. However, it only works if your entire organization is on board. At this stage, we recommend that everyone in your agency reads the book and gets trained on how to implement the EOS framework at every level. You can implement EOS yourself, ideally with the help of a business coach, or you can even hire an EOS implementer to help you. Implementing EOS at this stage will help your agency actually achieve those 3-year plans you created in the growth stage of your journey. This is the time to do some deep soul searching and ask yourself where you want your agency to be in a year's time or a few years' time. Are you going to expand into new markets? Will you have multiple offices? Do you plan on preparing to sell your agency in 3 years? Don't be afraid to ask yourself those tough questions. 3, start doing retainer work. It might seem obvious, but retainer work is the real secret to scaling your agency. When you start doing more retainer work, your team can spend more time understanding your clients' long-term goals, which often leads to better results. Plus, You have less pressure to be constantly pitching to new clients, and you have a predictable, reliable source of revenue coming in that you can actually plan around. Want to charge by the month? What about the quarter? Be careful not to be too flexible with retainers you offer. Pick one that works best for your business based on your understanding of past performance and your agency's economics. This will give you a competitive advantage because you can hire ahead and forecast where your business will be in several months or quarters down the road. Retainer work allows you to take a breather, plan ahead, and get off that hamster wheel. As a general best practice, we recommend setting a benchmark for at least 70% retainer work and 30% project-based work. 4. Set strict budgets for work. When you're at the scale phase of your agency's growth, keeping an eye on budgets is more important than ever. Now your focus should be on growing revenue. Accurate budgeting will help you determine whether your agency has the capacity to take on more work and increase the profitability of projects already in the pipeline. Well, there are a few ways to approach budgeting. We like the bottom-up estimation approach. With this budget tactic, you predict how much a project will cost by breaking it down into tasks. You then look at how much each task will cost based on estimated hours it will take to complete and hourly rates per employee. To help with this, rely on data from past projects and ask your team for input. Even better, cross-reference with your project management platform to tell you, for instance, how long it really took your creative team to create that logo last quarter. A project management platform can also track team member productivity and utilization rates, which should also be accounted for when budgeting. Maybe a more senior employee has a high billable rate, but can design a logo in a shorter time frame than a junior staff with a lower billable rate. Whether it's a $4,000 or a $40,000 project, encourage team members to be as strict as possible and stick to the hours of work they are assigned. This will allow you to more accurately budget for future projects and know when it's time to ask a client for more money or charge for overages. Last but not least, we recommend you have a client-facing budget and an internal budget that the client doesn't see, one with and without your agency markup. And if you're wondering about markup, most agencies charge around 20 to 50% to help cover both direct costs directly associated with your project, as well as indirect costs, anything that can't be tied to a specific area in your estimation. 5. Maximize your profitable work. At this point, your head of operations is ensuring that all of your team's workloads are utilized properly and that you are delivering projects on time and on budget. But you need to stop and ask yourself, which types of projects are actually the most profitable for our particular agency? And which type of projects do we most enjoy doing? Using your project management software, take a look at which projects are most profitable, which people on your team are constantly performing the best, and dig into data to understand why. Maybe one of your team has been perfecting their use of templates and this has helped them take a 3-day project down to a 2-day project. Let's dig in and find out. If you manage all of your client work in one end-to-end platform, you can quickly understand your profitability by running a profitability report. This is where your head of operations should spend a great deal of their time. You'll get detailed insights into performance so you can confidently recommend stopping, starting, or continuing certain types of work. Prioritizing the work that is most profitable doesn't have to mean stopping other types of work altogether, but you may want to quote higher rates for work that is historically less profitable for your agency. 6. Establish a culture of training. Remember those career and training paths that you established in the growth stage? Well, it's time to revisit those and see how well they are working for your agency in practicality. Managers and business leaders alike need to provide both direction and inspiration for their teams so they are motivated to deliver their best work. Investing in a culture of training at all levels within your organization will help you reach your goals faster as everyone grows alongside one another. We recommend a coaching style for managers within agencies where they are guiding individual contributors to use their best skills to their advantage. Managers will retain their authority and have the power to make the final call, but they will also serve as a mentor who can help develop new talent into something better and more useful to the agency and to the individual. This also benefits your agency because members of the team can be put on the projects that best suit their skill sets rather than wasting time spinning the wheels on projects they're just not well suited for. 7. You need to retain your clients and staff. Revenue is the most obvious benefit of retaining clients for the long term. It typically costs you more to acquire a new client than to keep an existing one, so prioritizing the client experience is critical for agencies that want to scale. At the end of the day, the longer a client stays with you, the more valuable they become. They will bring a higher lifetime value to your agency and will often spend more with you on each project. And while revenue is a clear benefit to client retention, it's actually not the only one. Strong client retention is an indicator of how satisfied your clients are with your services, which leads to word-of-mouth referrals and sustained growth over time. This comes with a caveat though. Equally as important to retaining clients is knowing when to say goodbye to ones that no longer suit your agency. This may happen from time to time. When your agency is just starting out, it can be hard to turn down clients. But at this stage, you need to focus on your mission, the types of clients you want to work with, and what's best for the business. Last but not least, agencies need to work hard to retain their employees alongside their clients. As an agency owner, you set the stage for the type of culture you want to create. In today's competitive landscape, we all know that it's critical to build a culture that top-tier performers want to be part of, or you risk attrition, which can lead to inefficiencies right across the board that can negatively affect your profitability. So you need to invest in mentorship programs, promote from within, and take action on the feedback that you hear. I know that was a lot of content, so thank you very much for patiently sitting through it all. I used to be in your shoes, I know how hard it is, and that's ultimately what's motivating me to put this content together. I really hope you found it useful and it'll help you alleviate some of the stress and turn into a thriving agency. That's what I really want for you. If you ever want to get in touch, you can find me on LinkedIn. Peter Coppinger, you'll find me immediately. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love for you to check out teamwork.com in all honesty. But more than anything else, I wish you all the best in scaling your agency, and I wish you every success on your journey.